Okay, here we are with Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Let's see if I can actually connect to the online. Because for some reason, every so often, it just doesn't want to connect. I don't know if, like, the servers are actually down. I haven't been able to connect for a little bit, though. Well, it's tempting. Give me a second. I'm actually going to double check to see if they are down. That's remastered. Yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, I just have not been able to connect to their servers. I'll give it one more try. If it doesn't work, then we're just going to continue on. Like I said, I haven't been able to connect to the servers for a few days on my Steam Deck. Wonder if I got... I wonder if... No, there's no way that I've been banned from DS2 because I've said I've been playing on my Steam Deck and I tend to start it online mode, power it off my Steam Deck, and it switches to offline mode. I wonder if that's caused an issue.
Forgotten land. A place where souls may mend your ailing mind. You will lose everything. Once branded, the symbol of the curse, an augur of darkness. Your past, your future, your very light. None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human. A thing that feeds on souls, a hollow. Long ago, in a walled-off land far to the north, a great king built a great kingdom. I believe they called it Drang Lake. Perhaps you're familiar. No, how could you be? But one day, you will stand before its decrepit gate without really knowing why. Like a moth drawn to a flame. Your wings will burn in anguish. Time after time. For that is your fate. The fate of the cursed.
I will say Dark Souls 2 definitely has a really good opening. Like, that whole cutscene is just great. Welcome to the start of our new journey. Welcome to the Things Betwixt. So, thing to talk about already. Half health. Okay, talk about DS2. For years, DS2 had this reputation for being known as, like, the worst Dark Souls. I never, I'll be honest, after playing it, I didn't really have that opinion. I think it's the weirdest Dark Souls. We'll go into why I think it's the weirdest in a moment. One of the things, though, and this is actually something I don't really like about Dark Souls 2, and that is how it handles its humanity system. All three of the Dark Souls games kind of do something different with the humanity system. Dark Souls 1 just had no penalty for playing in offline mode. Dark Souls 3 gives you benefits for playing in online mode. Dark Souls 2 penalizes you for playing in offline mode. The reason why is because of the fact you are hollow. The greater your hollow level, the less health you have, up to a maximum of your health being cut in half. This actually affects a certain set of weapons, but I'll get to those when we get to them. There are other little quirks of this game, but we'll go over them as they come.
What seems to be the ruckus?
Oh my, your face. The face of the curse. It's an undead. An undead has come to play. They all end up here. All the ones like you. You spoke to that kind old dear, didn't you?
You're finished. You'll go hollow. Yes, you'll become one of them.
Hollows prey upon men, feast upon their souls. This is the fate of the cursed.
What is your name?
I'm trying to go with different names than I did before.
At least you know your own name. Here's your reward for sharing. It's a human effigy.
Take a closer look. Who do you think it's supposed to be?
Think back, deep into your past. Yes, it's an effigy of you.
So the thing is about the human effigy, a human effigy is actually just, from what I understand and a little bit of the theory crafting, it is just transferring the curse from you to the effigy. It is not a cure. So okay, now to why Dark Souls 2 is a little weird. So, starting with the classes. So we have the warrior, battle scarred with warrior with high strength and dex. They start with a shield, a full set of armor, and a broken straight sword, as well as a life gem. I'll talk about life gems later. But one thing to talk about really quick is spell slots. The attunement rank for almost every starting class is not high enough to be able to cast a single spell. Which, it makes, if you want to do spell builds or paladins, it makes it a little awkward to level up into them. We've got the knight, which is high HP and adaptability, tough to take down. Adaptability is also a point of contention for a lot of people in this game. But the thing is with the knight is you start with a sword, but you don't start with a shield, and you don't start with a helmet. Swordsman, you start with, is actually entirely built for dual wielding, which is a new mechanic of this game. This was the game that introduced power stancing. It was then removed turned into its own weapon class in Dark Souls 3, and then brought back in Elden Ring, and actually improved in Elden Ring. The bandit, which is high dex, skilled with a bow, and fights at various ranges. The cleric has a really bad start since you have a mace, chimes, and a robe. That is it. You don't even have enough dexterity to be able to use a dagger. It is rough starting as a cleric. The sorcerer is, well, it's a sorcerer. It's magic. The explorer is kind of interesting because of the fact you start with various items, including the rusted coin, a bunch of consumables, including I believe it's a witching urn or hexing urn, I think it is. Either way, it's a firebomb for magic damage. You have the aromatic ooze, which is kind of like the resins from the last game, but it applies magic damage, so it's a new type. I believe that is a small silky orb, which you could crush for a temporary HP regeneration. The rusted coin increases luck. Repair powder, which is a godsend in this game. A Pharos lockstone, which is a very useful item, and interestingly enough, some crossbow bolts, but no crossbow. And Depraved starts with nothing. I'm actually going to start as the swordsman. The reason why I'm starting as the swordsman is just because of the fact it has, let me see here. It has good dex, some decent strength, and it's not going to take a lot of points to get going. Because one thing Dark Souls 2 is not afraid to do is give you a lot of souls. Like, it is really easy to get souls in this game. So starting items are the life ring. The life ring is a starting gift in every single Dark Souls game. It's okay in Dark Souls 1 because of the fact the life ring is not really given to you. And actually, it's okay in Dark Souls 1 because by the time the life ring is given to you in that game, it is easily replaced with the Ring of Favor and Protection. Dark Souls 3 is, do not start with it in Dark Souls 3. I'll talk about why later. DS2, it's fine, but I mean, there are better alternatives, especially now that we have 4 ring slots. The human effigy, a familiar-looking effigy, returns the Hallowed to life. It is not the most useless item. It's actually pretty useful to have because of the fact you can use this to restore your humanity. Healing wares, which are really good. It gives you some extra life gems and poison moss, which is a godsend because poison is terrifying in this game. A homeward bone, which I don't get why you'd start with it. They're pretty plentiful, and if you're playing a cleric or a paladin, the homeward spell exists. The only game where starting with a homeward bone as a gift that would be a good thing would be Demon Souls, and that's just because of that game's nature. That game is weird. Seed of a Tree of Giants is really good for dealing with invaders because of the fact it makes the way the Tree of Giants makes it so that if you're ever invaded by NPC or other player, enemies will see the invader as an enemy. Petrified Something is a completely useless item that you can trade away for useful items. But I'm taking the bonfire aesthetic. I'll talk about what that does later. Because it is unique to this game, and it's something I really wish the other Dark Souls games would adopt. I'm not going to do... Much like all the other games, I'm not too concerned about my Dark Souls character looks like, mostly because of the fact I'm going to look like beef jerky for most of the game, or I am going to be wearing a bucket helm, or a knight helm.
The curse. You're no different, I should think. Doesn't stand a chance. Well, you never know.
Being I know about the cyclical nature of Dark Souls, assuming these ladies know a little bit more, they know what's going on.
Go through the door and trot along to the kingdom.
But remember, hold on to your souls.
I won't.
They're all that keep you from going hollow. Oh, I'll fool you no longer. You lose your souls. All of them. Over and over again.
True. DS2 is a hard game, but for a lot of different reasons. One of which being it's got some of the more brutal boss runs in the game series, excluding Demon Souls. So, okay, first things first, going up here, collecting this. The reason I decided to start as the Swordsman was, like I said, I like having some, it has good decks, it has some versatile moveset. It's just I'm going to need to invest some points to start going into being a paladin. And having some good high decks is really good in this game because there are some really good non-katana dex-based weapons. Also, yes, dual wielding just normally is a thing. I can't power stance yet, but you can, if you have a sword in the left hand, it's not just used for guarding, you can actually use it to fight. So, talking about why I think DS2 is the weirdest. There's a stat here called adaptability. Adaptability affects your invincibility frames. Though it also has one of the more interesting looking hollow designs. So, right now our agility is 86. Agility is affected by adaptability, and it affects your iframes when you roll. It has the most awkward rolling in the franchise, in my opinion. 101 is the equivalent of mid-rolling in Dark Souls 2 and 3. What adaptability affects is not the speed at which you roll, it is your invincibility frames. I'm gonna break 2 more life gems so I can heal. I don't believe you can fit through there. And that's me, the Stone Ring. Stone Ring lets you deal additional poise damage. To be honest, not really. Wasn't really worth the investment, especially because of the fact that I used so many life gems. That's something to help early on. The other thing agility affects, if I remember correctly, is item use speed. Also, you may notice there are now red bars underneath the weapons, as durability is a nice change. But the thing is, durability is an actual problem in DS2. And this is the actual tutorial area, the things betwixt. I was debating if I was going to do this, because there's not really anything I need here, but there are souls, and I would like some souls. Don't bother with the torch right now, because you can use a torch to light up the various braziers around here, but okay, the torch is a... Wow, I forgot how loud this game gets. Okay, but, oh, a second. Yeah, as I was saying, though, the torch is a very valuable item in this game. Every torch you find gives you 5 minutes longer with your torch. It is needed to solve various puzzles and other things throughout the game, so cherish it. One thing this game also has going for it is it has some of the best visuals and motions, I think, in the Dark Souls trilogy. Like, the actual combat animation is really good. It also has, like, the best New Game Plus in all of Dark Souls. The main thing I wanted to open up is this nest, because this is, the crow. The crows exist in all the games. If you give them various items, you will... Actually, you know what? Wait, let me go back up, because I actually do have an item they take. They will give you various rewards. In Dark Souls 1 and 3, it is a 1-to-1, so if you give them a specific item, you get an item in return. Dark Souls 2, it's more of a gacha. So... yeah, they want something. If you drop the various silky smooth stones of various sizes, larger stones will guarantee better rewards. The petrified something is almost guaranteed to be something good. You'll get some crafting material in return. Just leave the item. Yeah. They'll say yes. And for that, we got a poison. Ooh. Ooh, that's actually really good, because with a few exceptions, nothing in this game is immune to poison. The exceptions being poison-based enemies, of course. And poison in Dark Souls 2 is just a guaranteed slow... It deals damage, but it's guaranteed to be 1,000 damage at the end of the day. Talk about some status effects and the changes between the two games. Bleed is at its worst in this game. The way Bleed works as a status effect in Dark Souls 2 is... Bleed, instead of doing percentile damage, does a flat 200 damage, and while the effect is triggered on a hollow or a player, actually it's really only on players, the player's max stamina is reduced by 50%. It is not a good status effect in this game because of the fact that it is only a guaranteed 200 damage. There are better status effects you could use. There are other things you could do to increase your damage output if you're looking for it, but we'll go over that as we go through the game. Okay, let's see. And we got some basilisks, old friends. As you see, there's some more braziers down there. There is a thing that triggers if you light all the braziers, but can't do it yet. Hence why I said don't bother. If we were online, we'd be seeing a lot of orange messages around here. But for some reason, again, I don't know why I can't connect to the DS2 servers. Welcome to Majula. Majula is the replacement for Firelink Shrine. God, it's actually really beautiful. I love Majula. Majula is considered by a lot to be the best hub area in Dark Souls. And I agree to an extent. Majula is really good just because like the lonely atmosphere, especially helped by the music. Grab this Estus Flask shard. Now, one thing to talk about, you haven't been able to level up. This game reverts to a level up system like Demon Souls, and Dark Souls 3 would also revert to this keep it this system.
Are you the next monarch?
And that is a maiden.
Or merely a pawn of fate? Bearer of the curse. I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey.
There is our Estus Flask.
He who made Drangleic what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrick.
Yeah, if you come to the Emerald Herald, you can level up. And quickly talk about the Estus Flask. You only get one charge. The Estus Flask behaves a little differently in this game, which is I'm gonna be saying a lot.
Bearer of the curse, seek misery. For misery will lead you to greater, stronger souls. You will never meet the king with a soul so frail and pallid. Seek those whose names are unutterable. The four endowed with immense souls. Their souls will serve as beacons. Once you have found them, return here to me, so that hope will not fade away.
The interesting thing, you actually do not need to kill the 4 bosses.
Is that a shard you found?
She said, seek out those with the unutterable souls. Those are there are 4 main bosses you're set to go after.
See hope,
Oh, not 4.
however faint it might be.
No, yeah, no, it's 4. It's 4. So if you go to those 4, if you beat those 4 bosses, you can continue on the game. But if you collect enough souls the door will just open. It's just looking to see you have a strong soul. See here. I do not have any spell slots yet, so I'm actually going to put all my points right now into attunement. Yeah. For every Estus Flask shard you get another charge. Now we're going to continue on. This game is very open-ended. We could go into pretty much any direction we want. I want to come here first, though, for a few simple reasons. I'm probably not going to fight the boss. I'm just coming this way for some souls and to get some items so I can unlock some stuff in town. There's a lot more stuff I could do in town right now, but I'm just gonna wait. One thing I could do is join what's called the Covenant of Champions. The Covenant of Champions makes the game a lot harder. And is useful if you're on a New Game Plus run, or if you're just on a brand new file and you're like, I want more of a challenge, you could do it. The thing is about the Covenant of Champions, if you manage to collect the items for it and offer it up, you could get this game's equivalent of the Ring of Favor and Protection, which I do not like nearly as much as the Dark Souls 1 Favor and Protection ring, because, well, one thing that this ring doesn't, one thing that rings have now is durability. And the Ring of Favor and Protection in this game, called the Dragon Ring, breaks really easily. Everything in this game breaks really easily. If I remember correctly, despite me saying Bleed is not good, I believe, if I remember correctly, the Chaos Blade is still a good weapon in this game. But that's just because the Chaos Blade tends to be a good weapon. Forgot, if you're holding a weapon in your left hand, you have to use left bumper and left trigger for its stuff. If you hold right bumper, it will guard. To be honest, starting as a cleric is not a bad idea because of the fact you start with a mace. And, strike damage is just really good in this game. To be honest, the best types of damage you can get in this game are strike and lightning. If you get strike lightning, it is an amazing weapon. Wait, the scimitar's +1? So is the short sword. What the fuck? Really? What's the requirement to equip you? 710, so... Yeah, I don't have enough strength to do it. If you have... I believe it's 1.5 times the required stats for it, for certain weapon types. Well, certain weapons you can do what's called power stancing. So when you hit the left trigger left bumper instead of, swinging one weapon, you'll swing two. This is a more common thing in Elden Ring, just because in Elden Ring, they made it so you don't need the stat requirement. You just need to be able to equip the weapons and use them properly. Yeah, dual-wield combat, even without power stancing, is still a very useful thing because of the fact you could have one weapon, say in one hand, you have a rapier, a very pinpoint accurate weapon, which is the problem with spears in Dark Souls, because they don't deal good with crowds, and crowds tend to come up a lot in Souls. But in your other hand, you could have a greatsword. There are just some really useful weapon combinations you can do. Yeah, but yeah, as I said though, this game, I was saying earlier, this game is not afraid to give you a lot of souls. I've talked about, soul economies before in different contexts, like comparing Lies of P, Dark Souls, and, Demon Souls. Dark Souls 2 is a very high-scoring game. I mean, these are standard enemies, and they are giving us, like, you know, we haven't even, it's not even so much that it's standard enemies and we're getting a lot from them, it's because there's so many. Granted, 90 souls from the first, like, some of the first enemies is not bad. This is the Scholar of the First Sin version of the game, which does... So here's the thing. I've seen some debate about this. I've seen some say that Scholar of the First Sin adds a bunch of enemies, but then I've seen others say it's not that it adds enemies, it's just moved enemies around. Dark Souls 2 in general has an enemy problem. And what I mean by an enemy problem is not that the enemies are hard, it's just that there's so many of them. It's not noticeable here, but in some areas it's really bad. I would say I will point out some of the really bad ones later. Yeah, that's gonna happen a lot, like the cross counters. Do not kill this woman. Remember what you do. This woman is amazing because of the fact she is a really good early source of life gems. In particular, oh, sorry. After you beat this first area's boss, she will move to town and have an infinite supply of life gems. This is amazing because life gems are your primary source of healing outside of spells and the Estus. One of the harder things about this game is its healing mechanic because of the fact that healing isn't super straightforward in Dark Souls 2 compared to Dark Souls 1, because in Dark Souls 1, it was just down the Estus and you almost instant healed, but as you saw earlier, I slowly healed from drinking the Estus. And yeah, that's a thing in this game. The Estus is not instant. Okay, since we're in offline mode, this is actually going to be kind of interesting because of the fact that I have not connected. This tracks how many deaths have happened. And it's not just my deaths. It is the deaths of the player base.
You're undead, aren't you?
So currently we are at 1 death.
The smell of irreversible fate.
That's kind of the interesting thing. That's the thing I kind of like about being in offline mode. I can see how many deaths are just mine.
It is a kind of settlement. A place where life is almost normal. And in Drang Lake these days, there are very few places like that. I am Solden. And like you, I lost everything. And now I'm here.
Cool story, bro.
You probably heard that it was possible to break the curse here.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true at all. There's nothing here for you, me, or anybody. Do you know much about souls?
I've collected a lot of them.
Even I'm not certain, but I'm told that the soul is the essence of life itself. Anything living, sentient or no, supposedly has one. What we call the curse is traceable to the soul. Do you see what that means? To be alive, to walk this earth. That's the real curse, right there. We undead will never die. And that's quite a predicament, really. There are 4 beings in this land with giant souls. And wherever you go from here, you'll sooner or later come up against them. Each has a powerful soul and a terrible curse. If that frightens you, then you ought to just give up right now. Like I have.
He's not wrong. You have multiple paths open to you.
Do you ever cry out for help? The journey of an undead is long and treacherous. You'll face invaders from other worlds at every turn. If you need help, why not proclaim faith in the Blue Sentinels? When you face danger, the Blue Sentinels will come to your aid. Protection is yours, if you wish. You need only accept their kind embrace.
Now, we're not going to join the Way of Blue.
I will stay.
We're going to move. There's a message here, but the letters are worn. I forget if there's a way to read it. But, yeah. As he said, though, the Way of Blue is a new covenant. So the Way of Blue is for players. If you are afraid of getting invaded, join Way of Blue. Way of Blue will actually automatically summon players from another covenant if you are invaded. That is if there are any online. That's the issue. This game is kind of old. It has a dedicated player base, but it's not that big.
You, stand back. This is dangerous work. The name's Lenigrast. Just a simple blacksmith. And you are... another useless traveler. A man ought to labor with his feet planted firmly in the earth. Not roam around like you flirtatious vagabonds. Oh, what does it matter? Go on, show me what you've got. Your equipment. Let me have a look. But do it quick.
Don't have the money yet. I need 1,000, but I want to buy the rapier. Yeah, the NPCs do react if you don't buy anything from them. They're like, oh, well, don't waste my time with this, blah, blah, blah. Some some life gems. Talk about the other paths you could go besides to the Forest of Giants. There's a path over here, which is where I'm going to go next. There is a path down here if you're feeling brave. I think that's actually a Vic check, though. You have to have a certain amount of HP to survive the fall. And then there's a path up there, because that is not the entrance to the things betwixt, because that we came from over there. That's another path, but you need to have access to... Why am I drawing a blank here? Oh yeah, you need to have access to a Fragrant Branch of Yore, which is a consumable item. So currently the other paths are locked to us, but there's still a lot we can do. I will also warn you, I believe this area is the harder of the two paths. It's definitely the more rewarding of the two, but it is definitely, in my opinion, or at least to me, it's always been the harder. Yeah, while we're walking, I'll talk about the thing I said was one of my favorite things in this game that I wish would come back, the bonfire aesthetics. The way bonfire aesthetics work are, if you burn one at a bonfire, the boss will respawn, and the whole area will be kicked into New Game Plus. Is a great mechanic, is really good for Dark Souls 2 in particular, because Dark Souls 2 has, as I said, the best New Game Plus. This is what I mean by this area being a little bit harder. As you see, I took a lot of damage there, but it's 400 souls from defeating that enemy. I'm not going to pick a fight with the knights yet. One of the other quirks of DS2 is enemies will eventually stop respawning. I think it is 7 times, and then the enemy will stop. That's the other reason I'm not killing the knights. I want to wait until I have certain items, because I want the armor from those knights. Break the life gem. Cracked blue eye orb, which is like the cracked red eye orb, but for helping players instead of killing them. There's soul and a human effigy. I'm not gonna kill him because okay, there are 3 levers hidden throughout this area. If you find them and pull them all, you can actually expand the arena for the boss. Don't do that, actually. It makes the boss harder. Because, okay, here's the thing. DS2 has a lot of bosses, so I'm going to use a couple cheap tricks for a few of them. Mostly because there aren't a lot of cheap tricks in this game like there was in DS1. DS1, I got away with a lot of bullshit. Though I think the only ones I really used cheap tricks for with DS1 was the, Capra Demon and, Manus. Okay, okay, I'm not doing a 2-on-1. Through the mist. Be careful going through the mist, because enemies can hurt you going through the mist. what you do is you wait until he reaches there, you run, and he just puts himself off the edge. Oh, I love it. I love it. Easy boss, easy 12,000 souls.
Are you from
And also a
Hogwarts?
very important NPC for my build.
My name is Lycia. I have come to spread the art of miracles, a practice of which I am a disciple. I can see that you are well suited to comprehend their wondrous power.
Yes, with my 5
But
faith.
the cost of it, that's for your heart to decide.
So let's see here. First things first. Let's buy the chime. I want lightning spear and heal.
I'd heard awful rumors about this place, and I'm afraid they were all true. The king, gone. The earth, ravaged. The burden on the people weighs heavy. I fear that, by now, they may have scarce room in their hearts for miracles. Why did I come here? Well... do I need any other reason than to spread...
Why
the
do I
gospel
sense
of
bullshit
miracles?
from this woman?
My preceptor always said this art should be shared with the world.
Well, due to the fact that I'm a paladin and I need these miracles, I would... Yeah, a couple people kill her immediately because it saves them time.
Sometimes I fight the urge to pack up and go back home. It is... well... I must do this. And being out here all alone only makes this a more fitting test of my fortitude. I expected this cathedral to be bustling, but there's hardly a soul to be found here.
I don't know, I found 12,000.
Without any goings-on, I'll have to move soon. To a place I could gull the...
Oh?
Sorry. Help the gullible by teaching the good word.
Yeah, so she's
I
scamming.
expected this... So... Oh, Dunstan.
Yes. Yeah, I needed to exhaust her dialogue at the very least to get her moving because of the fact I need her back at Bajula because unless she's at Bajula, you cannot actually continue down this area. Because when she moves to Bajula, she actually has the ability to rotate that area, that room, and unlock the path to the other boss.
Bearer of... see, less...
Okay, let's see. I need 10 to get that going. Everything else right now is going to pretty much go into faith. Can I use any of my miracles right now? No, you need 12 to be able... I need 12 to be able to use a basic miracle. And I want the rapier. The rapier is one of the best weapons in this game. Just in general, rapiers are probably at their best in Dark Souls 2. Just because of the fact they can do a lot of damage, they're really fast, and this standard one is really good if you use the pine or the buffs for infusing it with elemental damage. The main thing is it's fast. Because weapon speed is a big deal in Dark Souls 2. My current plan for my weapons by the end of the game is I'm probably going to use a spear, my rapier, power stance rapiers, and, what am I drawing a blank on the last one? Oh yeah, I'm going to have a lance. The lance I want to use is in this area. Though the spear might be swapped out with halberds at times. I haven't entirely decided yet. We're gonna need this firebomb guy to toss wood right over here. Oh, fuck! Okay, I have to go back to the, bonfire. Come up here so I can, and jump across this. So I can get that guy to spawn, because, fuck, that is a pursuer. He's actually the second boss of this route, and yeah, you don't want to fight him there. It's just not worth it. Ah, he headshotted me. Like some more souls. One other thing to note is there's actually two white soapstones in this game. There's the normal one, and then there's a miniature one. The miniature one, because one thing I believe this game does is it's like a timer for how long a phantom is summoned. I don't know the full details because I don't really mess around with summoning. But, I noticed that they go away faster than the normal ones. Ah, fuck. Okay, there's a trick to this. I'm gonna buy two. I'm gonna give it one more try to do the shortcut method. And if it doesn't work, I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah. There's a way to clip it so the explosion hits the barrels on the other side, because they're gunpowder. They explode. I'm not at a point that... Actually, no, I am at a point where I'm desperate for souls, but I'm not hurting for souls in this game because of, well, Dark Souls 2. It's not even just that this game gives you a lot of souls, it's because the ratio, like, the increase you get for leveling up doesn't really get as ridiculous as it does in other games. Ah, fuck, he got my back. The only thing that's kind of sad is you may have... okay, I'm going to talk about the Black Sheep. This game only has a... Oh, wait, that's why it wasn't working! Shit. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to reload the area. Oh, that'll do it! I'll reload the area, but I need to get my souls back now. It's enough for another firebomb. The other item that she sells that's pretty useful is break bugs. Break bugs are only usable when you do not have any form of phantom. This includes invaders and white phantoms. But you will it increases the damage you deal and decreases the damage you take. It's a fairly good item to even the odds. I don't find myself using it that often just because I forget I have it. There's only a few of them in a run is not... Which, granted, that is an issue this game has in general. And that is resources. In particular, like, Twinkling Titanite is super rare. It's not that Twinkling Titanite's just super rare, it's super limited. There is only so much Twinkling Titanite in the game. Now, you can actually get more Twinkling Titanite with the bonfire aesthetic, but there's only so many of those in the game. Oh, no, no. Fuck. Go blow that up so we get a shortcut back to here. Rest to recharge. There we go. Yeah, watch how you fight some of these enemies, because you think you can punish some of them. No. One other thing, there's a lot to talk about Dark Souls 2 just because of the fact it's the weird Dark Souls game. A lot of shields do not block 100% of physical damage. Pretty much all the tower shields do, but like the kite shields don't. And the tower shields get to be heavy. Torch, some more human effigies, and another life gem. Ooh, an Estus shard. And repair powder, which is worth its weight in fucking gold. In particular during, like, the later boss fights, because of the fact... Oh my god, the later boss fights in this, especially the DLC boss fights, are insane for some of their HP.
To see light. However,
And she's gonna repeat that phrase, the same statement whenever you come to her with an Estus shard. So I'm just skipping past it. Get my Estus flask again, and let's see. Right now, every point I have is going to go into getting my faith up to snuff, so I'll be able to start using lightning. That is fucking ominous. I love going in that room and just hear all the bolts pull back. A great soul arrow, which very important if you're a spellcaster. correct. This is, yep. So, there's no longer just mimics for the trap chests. There is now actual trap chests. The two types of traps are poison traps and crossbow traps. Crossbow traps, if you have a 100% physical shield, you can just block them. Poison traps, get away, because, as I said, poison can deal up to 1,000 damage. At where we are right now, poison will kill. Doesn't open from this side. Poke. Yeah, you just hit the door. Do not use that lockstone. That is just a waste. I mean, that is a waste of a Pharos lockstone. There's actually a lot of those in the game for traps to waste the lockstones. Fuck. Oh, shit. I can't remember. Is this the life ring? I think it's the life ring. Yeah, it's the life ring. So yeah, really no point in starting with the life ring because it's right here. This is also the first Souls game to introduce +1 and +2 rings. On the first run, well, actually, no, you can find +2 rings in the world. It's just, a lot of the higher tier rings, some of them will require you to do things like fight New Game Plus bosses.
Hello there. Traveling all alone in these treacherous times.
Are you a son, bro?
I hope you have a very good reason. Oh, hogwash. Who am I to judge? My name is Pate.
Does the name sound familiar?
I journey hither and thither on a sort of treasure hunt, you might call it. Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who prey upon travelers like yourself. Oh yes, you be cautious if you go any farther. There's treasure in there for certain, but the entrance locks from behind. I saw the same design earlier, and it's the same contraption, I'm sure. I was with this warrior, you see, and he insisted that he go inside first. The rather brusque fellow tried to swipe the loot for himself, but it trapped him inside. I still have the gent's ring. I do hope he wasn't harmed. I'll leave this one to you. I'm worried about what might be inside.
And sure enough, as soon as you go through, the gate closes. I want to try to take out as many as I can in that corridor because of the fact I have the advantage with a thrusting weapon. So fun thing also, you can sometimes so you can be out healed. So if you're in the middle of healing, even if the max you're going to heal is okay, if the max you're going to heal is more than the damage you take, if you've not recovered enough, you can still die during healing. This includes with the Estus Flask, which is something I don't like about Dark Souls 2's healing system. And one way around this is just chug 2 Estus Flasks, because it will heal incredibly fast. Otherwise, you're just going to have to suffer through it.
Escape. I hope that brave warrior didn't come a cropper either. Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who...
You've already said that.
Oh. But you should take this. It allows undead to call out for help to one another across the fissures between worlds. With luck, somebody will lend you a hand.
Yeah, but if I could connect to the servers... There we go. Little way you could use the enemies to kill enemies for you. Ooh, winged spear though. Can I use that? No, I don't have the dex. Leave them cutting that tree. We'll deal with that later. There's Mailbreaker. If you're not using a weapon like a spear, the rapier, or a halberd, this is... I would be careful going up here. Because, yeah, it's going to be a thin walkway, and enemies are going to be coming down to get you. And if you're using a cleaving weapon, that area can hurt. I didn't realize my stamina was that low. Ooh, got his helmet. Amber herbs are really good because of the fact that... Wait, what? Oh, right. Some armor actually has stab requirements now. I don't know what it means if you don't meet the stat requirement for it. Actually, I'm curious. Can I... Okay, I can't use it... No. I don't know what the downside to this is. There aren't many pieces of armor with stat requirements. I just don't know if there's any downside to using armor when you don't have the stat requirements. Okay. Gonna rest at the bonfire, not even just to recharge the Estus Flask, but to repair my sword. As long as the durability of your weapon or armor does not reach 0, resting at the bonfire will repair it completely. Oh, so there's an old ironclad on that other elevator. So another thing about DS2, a lot of bosses in this game get intro cutscenes. Meet the last giant. Honestly, a fairly easy boss. A lot of his attacks are well telegraphed, and if you're a caster, he's even easier because you can hit his head. I just don't want him being... Okay, I do not want him being that close to the wall. Yeah, if you could get him running, he will just fall over and you could deal some serious damage. When he reaches about halfway, he'll rip off his broken arm, which gives him extra reach and he can deal more damage. There he goes, the last giant. Got a soul, and we've got the soldier's key. The soldier's key is used all over this place. And, okay, the other thing about boss soul. So, unlike Dark Souls 1, every single boss in this game has a boss soul. Now, the usefulness of said boss soul depends on your build. And, well, to be honest, some of them are just downright useless for certain characters. So, breaking a soul for, what's it called? What am I talking about? Yeah. Breaking a soul, boss soul. Did he just walk off the edge? Yeah. Breaking a boss soul for the souls is not a bad idea in this game. So, for example, the soul of the last giant can be used to create the giant stone axe. That is it. The giant stone axe is not really that good. It's a great axe weapon that has a 45 strength requirement. But, if you're not doing like a pure strength builder, you don't want to use great axes, because there are honestly better great axes you can use for that cost less. Just break it. And as I said, you can use the bonfire aesthetic to respawn the last giant and kill it. I'm still at the point where I'm trying to get my fate stat up, so yeah, I need the points. Let's see. I believe... Can I use it if I'm wielding 2? Nope, I don't have enough strength. Okay, I only have 1 attunement slot right now, so I can only equip 1 miracle. Yeah, I bear the curse.
They say these trees grew from the remains of the giants. From each carcass sprouting new life growing into what you see now. But you know what they also say? Don't believe what an old hag says. It's high time that I pick up and move. I've a bargain for you. Next time we meet, my lover. Loaded.
I believe if I rest now... Yep, she's gone. She is moved to Majula, and now she will sell infinite standard life gems. Crystal lizard, crystal lizard. It's the only thing that sucks about using a rapier. It's hitting crystal lizards. More damage out of the scimitar. I hate catching those little fuckers. Ideally, if things go as I would like with my souls, I will have enough souls from the next boss that I will be able to get I'm gonna drawing a blank here. Yeah, I'll be able to get the faith I need to use the lightning bolt of the lightning spear, and then I will also get enough souls to, enough points to have a second attunement slot. Because having heal is really good in this game because of the fact, the way this game's heal economy is. That one's just annoying because it runs into a corner. And depending on the weapon you're using, you can't get too close. Otherwise, your weapon will bounce off the wall. Last time it phased... Wait, there's another chest in here? Forgot about this one. And it's some repair powder. I'm gonna give up on that lizard and start moving on. While my rapier is going to deal a lot less damage than my scimitar, it's faster. So in the grand scheme, it is dealing more damage. There we go. I just don't like... I don't want to risk them throwing it while I'm in there and having to deal with all that damage again. Because I don't have a fast enough casting time yet to use this during combat. Gonna use it to heal before the fight. So, yep, this is our second boss fight. Oh, actually, our third boss fight. The Pursuer. If you can get him to sit still long enough, you can actually use the ballistas to hurt him. Ah, fuck. I'm not good at it, but it is something it is a strategy you can use. Which I was trying to use there to very poor effect. So we're doing this the old-fashioned way. Thing is, the Pursuer, he's very intimidating with his design, but just keep calm. He has a lot of openings to punish. And hug his right side. Oh. If his sword glows blue like that, do not get hit by it, because it is a very punishing attack and can also will curse you. If the curse status is what's reducing my max health. Because curse has levels, the more you get cursed, the less health I have. The insta-kill curse effect has been replaced with a new effect called Petrification. I overcommitted there, and I'm lucky I didn't get punished for it. Ring of Blades. Which is actually it's an okay ring for early in the game because of the fact it's just more physical attack power. The Dranglix set. Minus the helmet. But the helmet is not available to us yet and won't be available for a good long while. Like, I mean, endgame levels of good long while. Where'd those other swordsmen go? Oh, there you are. Hey, buddy. You were just waiting to try to kill me. Human effigies. I believe this is the Dull Ember. Yeah. That's actually a very important item, because that starts up the second blacksmith. Because this game, one other thing Dark Souls 2 did introduce and has become a staple for the franchise is infusions. This game is the one that set the infusion standards going forward.
Bearer of the curse, seek, lest.
Right now I just need 2, and then, everything else into strength right now, just so I could start being able to use the halberd. I can use it two-handed now. If the X disappears, that means you're good. That is something that they got rid of from Dark Souls 1 that I kind of wish they didn't. They bring it back in Dark Souls 3, which is, it'll let you know, hey, you can use this weapon if you two-handed. Do I have any? I don't have any fragrant branches yet. That's the one thing you will always find yourself needing in this game. Fragrant branches of yore. Because, oh my god, the amount of stone statues on the path that you need to go to is ridiculous. I just realized I also forgot to attune my new spell. But yeah, that halberd. Holy fuck, that is a lot. Halberd supremacy. This thing deals a lot of damage in this game. Soul Proud Knight. The Old Knight halberd, which I probably can't use yet. But I mean, look at this thing. I might put in the points to be able to use it. It's got better scaling than the standard halberd. Whenever you see these guys, they are usually guarding something good, in particular, Sublime Bone Dust. If you burn this in the bonfire in Majula, your Estus Flask will heal more. So there are two upgrades for the Estus Flask throughout this entire game. There is the Shards, which increase usage, and then there is the Bone Dust, which increases health restored. This will not change going forward. This is the same system that Dark Souls 3 uses, and Elden Ring ditched half of it. But Elden Ring also has so many flask charges that it's not that big of a change. But you know what? Do I have a Homeward Bone? Yeah, it'll just save me some time. I'm gonna go back to the other bonfire because there is a chest that is available. Because once you defeat the Dragon Rider Knight, all the Hyde Knights that were here will start moving. They will try to kill you now. They no longer ignore you. Thing is about Lightning Spear, and to be honest, most spells and miracles in this game have been nerfed. Just because the amount of uses have been decreased, and so has the damage is, you can see, is not as ridiculous as it was back in DS1. But one thing that Lightning Spear has going for it in this game is its range is insane. I'd really like your sword because there's a lot I want from the Hyde Knights. Because, I mean, obviously they have the whole Crusader Paladin aesthetic going for them. I like the armor. In particular, I want the bucket helm. And I would like the sword because their sword naturally deals lightning damage. I'd like to say this is a Fragrant Branch, isn't it? Nope, that's the Ring of Binding. Shit. Isn't there a Fragrant Branch here? I don't There's the one I could buy, but I can't afford it yet. Okay, you know what? Okay, I'm somewhat wrong in my remembering that a branch is available to me right now. There are two branches available. There's the one to buy for, like, a bit of a ridiculous amount of souls. I think it's 1,200, which has a lot of levels right now that I could be using. But there is one available to us in the Lost Bastille. And I went to the wrong area. I just went back to Majula. I don't know why. Because there are two entrances to the Lost Bastille that are... One is through Hyde's Tower of Flame. The other is the one we've got right now. Both are guarded by two bosses. And this playthrough will 100% not be an all-boss run. There's a reason for that. And it is the DLC. The DLC has, the DLC bosses have some really good fights, and then some that are just straight up ass. I know I said bleed is not that dangerous of a stat effect in this game. At this point, it is still very dangerous. Because I don't have a lot of health. Or a lot of stamina. There's a lot of stuff I gotta work on with this character right now. Because, like I said, the main issue I have with Dark Souls 2 is its early game. The issue I have with Dark Souls 2 is its early game is really painful because of the fact that you don't really have a lot of stuff to work with. No, 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 no! That would have been a terrible way to lose my souls. Also, don't think you can just drop down there and avoid the dogs. The dogs will break down the door to get to you. Those dogs want blood, and they will get it. Ow! Okay, but why? I don't have fire damage. Why? Oh, I just wasted a lightning spear. Well, I can always use the amber herb. The thing is, try to save your cast restoration items just because of the fact that there's no infinite supply of them. Well, there is. You can grind them out, but... And, yep, there he is. So, yep. Round 2 with the Pursuer, but this time he's got some new tricks. So yeah, the Pursuer is not a one-time enemy. He will spawn at various points, but also have some new gimmicks when they respawn. I actually would like to know if you could get the armor. You cannot. I was curious, but yeah, you cannot get his armor. Shame, I like that helmet. Granted, I've said before, I like the traditional, like, knight plate mail helmet. Kind of why I'm annoyed of how hard it is to get in Demon Souls. It was just easier to blow them all up because I knew I could out-heal the damage. So, one thing I should equip was the Silver Serpent Ring, and this is a really good item. Because the Silver Serpent Ring increases my soul gain. Okay, let's get him to respawn. Let's go for round 2. Break. Be careful with when he does the stab with the blue energy, because in fact it does have a lot more reach than you'd expect. Oh, get away, get away. Because, yeah, this could deal a lot of damage and can inflict curse. Worth it? Oh yeah, I forgot. I give some Twinkling Titanite. Not entirely worth it, but still. And I'm going to use the Homeward Bone to get back, because it's really the only way to get back to that bonfire. That is the annoying thing. This bonfire is pretty much a one-way trip. Let's return back to Bajula really quick. Can I buy the second one? I'm saving the Dragon Rider soul as well as... Well, I'm probably not going to use it because the Dragon Rider soul is more for an int build. Okay, good. You sell. You can buy. I can buy it now. And is this how many levels is this good for? Not a lot. And how many? Do I have any spare armor? Yeah. No. I'm gonna go buy something really quick. I haven't talked about this merchant yet.
Hello there. Welcome to my shop. I'm Morlin, and I sell armor. Oh, sorry, Please do have a look at my wares. I could really use the business.
His whole thing, this guy's whole questline literally is just you buying stuff.
Thanks very much.
He needs you to spend a certain amount of souls. If you do it, his inventory changes. At the very least, I want his tier 2 inventory, and you'll see why in a moment. I'm gonna quit game really quick. I'm gonna see if I can connect to the DS2 servers really quick. Yeah, I don't know why I just cannot connect to the servers. It's something about Dark Souls 2 in particular. I just can't connect to the servers. I don't know if there's an issue going on with them right now. I mean, if there is, someone could tell me. That'd be very nice. You could tell what position, well, I mean, what his quest line is at, well, what his inventory is at, depending on where he's sitting. When he's sitting on the floor, that is his standard inventory from the start of the game.
Oh, I was hoping that you would come. They've been selling rather well, and I may step up operations soon.
Once he has his second tier inventory, he now sells the Royal Soldier set. And he also sells the Elite Knight set.
Always open.
One thing I'm gonna break the Dragon Rider soul because, again, this is more of an int soul than it is a faith soul. I want my helmet back.
Thanks.
Ah, there we go. All is right in the world. If you could get a weapon with strike damage, it is really helpful. Also, wow, that is a very familiar looking sword.
Have you business with me? The way yonder is all blocked up, you see, by this god-awful statue. Heavens above. Who thought it a good idea to put it there? Oof, I'm in...
If you can't tell by that sword, that is the legendary Moonlight Greatsword. Not really a weapon that we're going to be using, but it's just something I figured I'd talk about. This is a character I want to free right away, just because of the fact, she's a teacher.
I've been petrified. Hard to speak. Give me a moment, please. I'm fine. I think.
Good? I don't think you are.
I'm fine. Really, I am. My name is Rosabeth. Thank you so much for rescuing me.
Rosabeth, if you want to play a certain spellcaster type, is very important.
Oh. You're that traveler.
And like I said, we've already seen our teacher for faith. We haven't met our teacher for sorceries.
Well, I'm quite a hand at pyromancy.
Welcome pyromancy. Yes, you cannot start as a pyromancer. You have to find pyromancy in this world. I don't get why.
I was attacked and turned to stone, I think. I owe you my life. If you hadn't... Oh, I feel shameful wearing these rags. I hate to burden you further, but just look at me. My clothes are in tatters. Do you have any clothing that you could... I'll take anything. Whatever you don't need. I'm not particular when it comes to apparel. Anything at all will... Just put it on the ground. And I'll change into it later.
So yeah, so Rosabeth does two things. One is... as she said, she needs clothes. So you can give her any gear you give her, you cannot retrieve. So just give her something extra. That's why I bought the infantry set. It's throwaway gear. She also sells the quartz rings, which increase your elemental defenses. She also sells the burrs, which will temporarily boost your defense to various elements. She also sells 3 fire seeds. These are very useful if you want to be a pyromancer. And she also sells the pyromancies. In particular, what I want is poison mist. And she can reinforce the pyromancy flame, but we don't currently have a pyromancy flame, so we gotta find that still.
What? Clearing the way was you? Didn't think you had it in you, pal. No. That's not like it sounds, no. It was a pleasant surprise, that's all. Name's Ben Hart. Thanks to you, I can resume my journey. If we share the same path, I'm sure that we are going to meet again.
Probably.
I'll repay my debt to you in battle. I swear it. By my sword.
That's a very important sword, my friend.
It's going to be long, but I'm here to help.
So while we go, I'm not gonna spoil it until like the very end. There's a lot of unique items in this game that are only available when you use either a bonfire aesthetic or New Game Plus. I'm not gonna get them all. I'm gonna get a few in particular that work more with my build. I will acknowledge some of the ones. One of my viewers has been saying this game is filled with, and I quote, booby bosses. No, this game actually has some of the more... there's a few like that, but there's a few that just make my skin crawl, mostly because... I'll talk about because I've mentioned it in the past. It's because it's easily visible right now in content outside of Dark Souls with Elden Ring Night Rain coming. The Duke's Dear Freya is a giant spider. I don't like spiders. I have a very deep hatred for spiders. Am I missing health? No. Okay, it just looks weird. But I will be fighting a lot of high tier boss of the more infamous bosses in this game. Like, I will be going through the entire Abyss questline. honestly, I find the straight sword users for the old knights to be really easy. The hammers, I could go 50-50. The great swords, I could go 50-50. I hate fighting the great sword. Not great swords, the hammers. Because the hammers have a really nasty backswing. Actually on my practice file on my Steam Deck for this, everyone's wearing, oh, you could say you've had a practice file for Dark Souls 2. Where the fuck is it? So Dark Souls 2 and 3 do not have cloud saving on Steam. So, yeah, that's a thing. It's also now made me, basically my Dark Souls 3 practice file is on my PC, and I'm not allowed to delete DS2 from my Steam Deck until I download. There's a program you can use to get things off your Steam Deck onto PC. I just haven't felt like doing it. Mostly because I have to navigate the files of my Steam Deck. There we go. That's some serious damage. Yeah, so a lot of the petrified enemies are just going to be hollows or various enemies. Don't unpetrify them all, because there's not enough fragrant branches of yore to do it. And there's a lot of traps to waste it. I do not believe there is a way to grind fragrant branches. You just need to know where they are. Coming up here, the reason I did this is because not only is there an Estus Flask shard there, which is very nice, this chest has another old friend. The Knight Armor. Sorry, I feel like Dark Souls 1 again. So one other thing I didn't talk about, another difference is this is also the Dark Souls game that introduced stamina cost for spells and miracles. So you can't just spam Soul Arrow like you could in Dark Souls 1. Though I will say, Soul Arrow spam is a thing in this game because of the fact it has 30 fucking charges on acquisition. Okay, this is going to be an area. I'm actually going to restore my humanity. And I'm also going to want to... This is the first time we're going to be using the torch. Do I have any lockstones? Do I have any material to get lockstones? No. What sucks about one-handing the rapier is I can't actually heavy attack while I do this, because of the fact the heavy attack for the one-handed rapier is a parry. Thankfully, these guys are not... The enemies of this area are not strong, per se. They just... They have a lot of poise, and... They take a lot of damage from me, but they also dish a lot of damage out. So we're kind of... We're kind of at an even match deal. Especially because of the fact so many of my points right now, my levels are kind of wrapped up in leveling up my faith. I'm gonna actually summon Bradley of the Old Guard just because of the fact I'm at a disadvantage here because of the fact I have to carry the torch. And I don't want to have this take too long since I only have a limited amount of time with the torch. Dark Souls 2 has a lot of NPCs who are only seen as summons. They don't do anything else. They're either only seen as summons or only seen as invaders. One of which is the new evader exclusive to this game called Forlorn. Forlorn is exclusive to Scholar of the First Sin. They appear in various areas, and they have one of two weapons, either a scythe or a sword. Every time you kill Forlorn, you'll be able to buy a piece of their armor. And once you get enough to get all the armor, and then you can start collecting the weapons. Yeah. This game, I'm not... Okay, I went through most of Dark Souls 1 only summoning for the bosses. That's not going to be a thing at DS2 because of the fact there are so many enemies.
Things are better that way. You are an odd one. Normally, people keep a safe distance when they see this mask. But you...
I'm weird.
I'm called Lucatil. From the land of Mira to the far east, across the mountains. They say Drang Lake brims with powerful souls. And so I came to claim my share. But what a strange place. Even the rumors did not prepare me. You are an odd one indeed. I've always made a point of avoiding people, while you've made a point of engaging me. I can see that you are mid-journey. If you require assistance, I will help you. I come from Mira, a land of knights. My sword is always ready. Don't hesitate to call upon me. Whatever happens, I won't be missed. You are an odd one. I can see that I come.
Yeah. So yeah, you're for her quest line. All you have to do is find a talk. That's it. We actually already have the first two locations. This being the first, the other one is in the Lost Bastilla. Oh, there we go. Task completed as I get hit with an axe. I remember correctly, because the nice thing is about the mini soap signs is that using them, I believe you still get a Sunlight medal if you're part of this game's equivalent of Warriors of Sunlight. So this is the reason you want to bring a torch. These enemies, they could deal a lot of damage, but they also will be scared of you if you have a torch. But be careful, if you back them into a corner, they do eventually overcome the fear, and they will just straight up attack you. You can usually tell they're getting over the fear when they start freaking out like that. Something there, like a spell or something. I will take stock of what we got later. Yeah. Most of the ones in here are pretty much just already not afraid of fire. And yeah, they dish out a lot of bleed damage, which, like I said, bleed's not as bad in this game as it is in other games because it's not percentile damage. 200 points is a lot at this point in the game. Thankfully, their poison is hot garbage. Repair powder. Yeah, repair powder is going to be worth its weight in gold until a certain point in the game. There is a merchant who sells an infinite supply of repair powder, but it's not available for a good while. Our first instance of the Great Sword. That is specifically what is referred to as the Guts Great Sword. It is an Ultra Sword, and it is modeled after Guts from Berserk. I don't really use Ultra Great Swords in this game. They are super slow. And, the issue is they are an ultra-precise weapon in this game because, the heavy attack is a cleave, but the light attack is you just drop the sword in front of you. If you manage to hit the enemy, oh my god, it is some serious fucking damage. But a lot of the enemies in this game are very mobile or have weird hitboxes, so it's not the best. Bring that to call in the boat. There is an NPC here I'd like to talk to, but I don't think he'll talk to me because I'm too dumb. Because the NPC I want to talk to here is the... Oh, fuck, an assassin! The NPC I want to talk to here is the, is the sorcery teacher, but I don't believe he talks to you unless you have a certain amount of intelligence. And my character is currently dumb as bricks. Yeah, let's just let them sleep. Ooh, I need that. Ah, fuck! I don't have anything to cure poison, so we're just gonna have to out-heal it. Oh, and the poison put out my torch. Wash myself off. Because, yes, okay, so if you go in, if you roll through, like, liquid, like, a bottle, like, a whole thing of poison, it sticks. Let's see. The NPC's right here, but I don't, like I said, I don't believe he'll talk to me yet.
I see light. I am Carillion, and I've no interest in the magic. I see. I am.
Yeah, I think I need at the very least 10 to interact with him. And I'd like to, so I'm actually going to Homeward Bone. This will also give me a chance to restock on supplies. Oh, actually, not restock on supplies. Mostly just recharge my casts and repair my stuff.
To see light, however.
Okay, let's see. I actually only need 1. Because you need to have at least 8 intelligence to talk to him, but you cannot, unlike other bosses, other teachers and everything, you cannot skip past this. You can't skip past this with, like, say, a ring or something that gives you, or armor that gives you a boost to intelligence. You have to have the intelligence. The reason why I want to talk to him is, if I remember correctly, if you meet the intelligence requirements, I forget if you have to buy it or he gives it. Okay, the good thing is because I've already lit up all the torches, a lot of the fires, I can actually just use my halberd, which, holy fuck, that damage!
Very well. From this day, you shall be my new pupil.
Yay!
I am Carillion, Carillion of the Fold. Surely you've heard
Nope.
the name.
I am my intelligence. I am sub-brick.
Let us explore.
Okay, I know you have to buy it from him. In particular, I want this. 'Cause, let me double check. Actually, does this affect miracles or is it just spells? Okay, yep. Because miracles still count as spells, this ring does affect spells. He also sells Simpleton Spice, which, the spices are a item in this game that you can use to, lower the int or faith requirements of certain spells or miracles. They're useful if you want to use certain high-level spell/miracles without investing a huge amount into that stat. The only issue is it's only by 1, and depending on the spell/miracle, you're probably better off just investing in the stat. Okay, I'm gonna go up here really quick, clear out everything up here. I thought there were only 2 of you on board. I'm still getting more damage out of the rapier unupgraded. Yeah, the cast timing reduction from the ring is not the best in the world. There is a +1 and +2 variant. The +1 is found in a chest, actually past where we found Rosabeth. The +2 variant is obtained from a New Game Plus boss. Well, let me phrase that. It's a boss on New Game Plus, but we haven't fought them yet. So, this boss coming up has a unique gimmick. As the fight goes on, the water level increases, affecting your movement. Up and heal. Oh fuck, you're coming after me. Hi. Oh fuck. No, okay, yep. Oh my god. I could have backed off and healed or just gone for the stab. I knew that I would be able to get the kill. Especially because the water level is high enough to actually affect my movement speed. Make sure you open this box before you interact with that. The reason why is the Pyromancy Flame. So Pyromancy in this game is... It's still pretty good. It's also incredibly easy to upgrade the flame. Because... Okay, catalysts have an can actually be upgraded in this game, and as they upgrade, they'll increase your magic. They actually increase the magic augmentation in this. The Pyromancy Flame is super easy to upgrade because it just needs fire seeds, 3 of which are in the town. And fire is a pretty good early game element. In particular, the thing we want, though, is Poison Mist, which is a Pyromancy. Because as I said, poison is a solid 1,000 damage. So, you know, having that 1,000 damage with poison and also having some powerful fireball. The nice thing is also about the Pyromancy Flame is you don't need to invest a lot into the Pyromancy Flame if all you're using it for is poison. Because I do not believe anything you do to the Pyromancy Flame affects how much Poison Mist deals. Okay, it's one of these doors. I think it's next one, right? Yep. Bonfire! The nice thing also about the bonfire aesthetics, when you respawn the boss, none of your shortcuts or bonfires go away, so you can't enter a boss room from behind. One thing that I could do if I really wanted the experience, I could respawn the Dragon Rider and go after him again. There's no real point in me doing that right now, and also it just would actually hurt me in the long run to do that because of the fact that there's another boss in that area. I'm just not picking that fight yet. Actually, we want to argue it. There's actually another 2 bosses in the High Tower of Flame. The reason why is there's a standard an enemy there who they treat as a standard enemy that is a later boss, similar to the Pursuer. The key I need.
I thought that might be you. You haven't changed a bit, have you? The longer I am here, the more madness I discover. A wretched place indeed, but not without traces of its former glory. What could have caused such degradation? Ah, yes, I have not thanked you for humoring me the other day. This is for you. Of course, I have no idea what it is.
Oh, you could use that for yourself.
Our land of Mirror is surrounded by enemies and constantly at war. There There is only one way up in Mirror. Join the Order and prove yourself in battle. My family had little fortune and no name. I had to carve out a piece of the world for myself. With two things. My sword and my loyalty to my lord.
Well, what happened?
I was raised to wield a sword from birth. Life was hard, but I never gave it a second thought. I had swift success on the battlefield and quickly attained respectable stature. And then I came here to... Have you heard of the undead? These poor souls affected by the curse.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
An undead gradually loses his humanity until his wits degrade completely. Finally, he turns hollow and preys upon others. And a hollow can never be human again. One can skirt this wicked fate only with the help of the souls found here. Assuming, of course, that the legends are true.
They're not.
I can only hope.
We already know what the cycle is for Dark Souls. There is no cure to the
I'm
curse.
sorry to burden you with talk of my fate. I suppose I've grown weary these days. I'm sorry.
Because there's some stuff here that we'll be seeing later that could lead us to believe that, well, this kingdom is built on top of another. I lead him away from that barrel because I need it. And I'm going to need to heal up because I'm about to do something kind of stupid. Okay, good. I didn't have to do something stupid. So yeah, I've had that barrel go sideways when it rolls down, and I had to either set it off with a fireball, or hit it with my sword. We come in here. We have Old Man McDuff.
Oh, why can't they all be this easy? Shape up. Shape up, I say.
So yeah, you can see he's a blacksmith, but he's kind of just waving his hammer around, nowhere near his anvil. I didn't mean to rest. Light your torch. Light this one. Rest up. And he'll move. Also lets you open up all these treasure chests. This is your advanced blacksmith. So, as I mentioned, Dark Souls 2 introduced a new mechanic. There's a Craftsman's Hammer. I've heard it's apparently pretty good. I've never actually tried it, though. But, the Dark Souls 2 introduces infusions, but infusions are unique in DS2 compared to any other Dark Souls game. Because in normal Dark Souls games, you cannot infuse boss weapons or Twinkling Titanite weapons. That is not the case in Dark Souls 2.
I smell flame upon you. I'm Macduff the blacksmith. All I want is a little flame. So, hand that ember to me. Right now, you imbecile.
Give it to him.
What a marvelous ember. You've got stones, I pray. Give me stones, and I'll fortify your gear.
Infusion is... You can get some solid buffs. The main thing is you can always undo an infusion. It is not permanent. And unlike DS1, you don't have any downsides for undoing an infusion. I'm going to use that poison stone we got earlier. So now I lose some physical damage. But now I deal 126 poison damage with my rapier. Fuck! Okay, the hammer cut fucks hard. Holy shit. Ow. I think I'll keep the hammer and the, what's it called? My rapier. And this is why we need the second fragrant branch of yore. Now, there is an optional boss fight in this area. We're just not doing it yet because I don't like it. It's a boss fight I actually hate. Leave these enemies out. Like, if you rush in there, you will get swarmed. It is not a good idea. Now, 126 poison damage is not that bad in all honesty, especially at this point in the game. The only thing about infusions in this game, this is the start of infusions, so it can be forgiven. But infusions don't add scaling. Which is a problem. Ideally, with the elemental infusions, you're going to use them on a weapon that already has that scaling. Oh, already has that element with it, so it actually has the scaling to benefit. If you want a decent lightning infusion weapon, I would say go for the Hide Sword, the Hide Knight Swords back in the Tower of Flame. There's a reason I'm summoning 2 Phantoms for this. I normally don't, but holy fuck, this is a thing Dark Souls 3 does Dark Souls 2 does a lot, and I don't like it in Dark Souls 2. And that is, multiple bosses fight. So, this is a 3-tier boss fight. We got 3 Ruined Sentinels, and I already do not like fighting Ruined Sentinels. Did I inflict? Oh yeah, I inflicted the poison. Okay, so one thing I'm gonna do also is... Actually, no, I'm gonna hold off on that. I was gonna say I was gonna grab the Poison Mist Pyromancy, but I'm gonna hold off. The reason why is I can't really use... This is one of the few rare battles early on where I'll be able to use the heal spell. Just because of the fact this fight, has some gaps where I'm able to use it. All I have to do is really take out that first, Ruined Sentinel. The other 2 will jump up there if they start moving. But as long as you don't fall down, they don't really start moving until you take out the one on your platform. I might actually use this. Like, for how easy it is to get this, I'm surprised how much damage it deals. Though, granted, I'm still very early, and I've heard strike damage is really good. Like, strike and lightning damage are 2 of the ideal damage types in this game. Just because of resistances. A lot of the fights early on in DS2 are pretty much all battles for your life. Because, God, shit gets close. And resin. Okay, that works. I got some... I still have to burn the bone dust. The only downside to infusing my weapon with an elemental type... I mean, with a damage type, is you can't use the pine resins anymore. Which kind of takes away from your adaptability. Are the other 2 gonna start moving, or are you gonna jump back up? Ow! Go. We heal up. Oh, okay, good. It healed you up because you're all nearby. my 3 casts off. Ah, fuck! No, I think for right now, I think I am gonna actually swap out for Poison Mist. I'm gonna swap out Lightning, though, just because of the fact right now it's not that good yet. Do I have, I don't have one I could use physically. Why do you all keep blowing me up? I should try to see how much the hammer does. Instead of just trying to inflict poison. I'll use the hammer to deal with the first one, and then I will use, why am I trying to blank here? The poison to deal with the 2 who jump down afterwards. The hammer uninfused is doing good, but I think if I remember correctly, the hammer uses twinkling. You know, I've got some souls to play around with really quick. I believe the craftsman's hammer uses twinkling titanite, which is, as I said, rare and limited. Because there's nowhere to grind twinkling titanite. Because I do not believe a single enemy drops it naturally. Yeah, it uses twinkling. What other stones do I have? Do I have any others? Oh, it can't be infused with bleed. Oh, because it's a strike weapon. That makes sense. So you can't infuse a hammer with bleed. Okay. Okay, that's where they draw the line. Well, you know what? I could go with I could go with fucking Molnir. Let's go. Almost blew us up. The main one is Felicia the Brave, because of the fact, the issue is with the Pilgrim here is they will not drop down. Or at least they have a habit, I've noticed, of not dropping down. Okay, you fused the weapon beforehand. Holy shit! That is just chunks of HP. Poison God, you good? Holy fuck, the hammer. The hammer is just... Holy shit. Because, yeah, hammers aren't really ever a weapon Oh, fuck, I didn't know this was here. So the thing is about illusory walls in this game. So illusory walls do not trigger on an attack or a roll. You have to press A. So I'm actually almost always pressing A anytime I'm walking near a wall. I know where a few of them are, but I always forget that's a thing in DS2 because DS2 is the only one that does it. Also, be careful of that hallway, that guy explodes. We're at 40,000, so let's go get our strength up to snuff where I can just one-hand this hammer. This fine. I came into this thinking like, oh, I'm gonna play with these weapons. And it's like, nah, hammer.
I'll be around.
Oh, you even were kind enough to clothe me. Thank you so very much. The only thing I can offer is pyromancy.
Nah. I could have bought like all that pyromancy, but right now I need stats. Especially with the fight that's to come. I'm trying to remember here. If you have a Ferrous Lockstone, you can actually unlock an area here called Belfray Luna. It is one of 2 bells. It's also a covenant. We are not doing that yet, mostly because I hate the boss of that area. If you can't guess by the fact that it is a bell you have to ring, it's our old friend the gargoyles, but they are so much worse. Ow. Because here's the thing, there is a gargoyle fight in Belfray Luna where you have to fight 3 gargoyles at once, and when you kill one, it spawns another gargoyle. Ideally, I'd like to defeat one more boss today, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Because we're actually approaching midnight. It's funny, last night when I was on Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, I'm like, oh, it's midnight, I'm gonna go sleep. I checked the time. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. That's why I'm like, I started Aqua's story because I'm like, oh, I could beat, I got to like, where I was Aqua's story. I'm like, oh, I could beat Aqua's story. And then it's like, nah. I forgot how annoying Terranort was. Ah, fuck. Well, get to show this off. Yeah, deals some serious damage and curses you. To be honest, the annoying thing about this encounter with the Pursuer is the fact that it's such a small room. If I remember, I don't even think it's like really anything good for killing the Pursuer here. Though you do want to kill the Pursuer here because he guards the entrance to Belfry Luna and a chest. The thing is about the Belfry Luna entrance is you need a Pharos Lockstone to open it. If you want a lot of Pharos, because here's the thing, you can get a lot of Pharos Lockstones very easily. All you have to do is, if you go down the hole in Majula, you can find a covenant called, the Rats. Or I think it's the Royal Rat Authority is the Covenant's name, and if you join them, every time you kill a player, you'll get a Pharos Lockstone. I don't really mess around with PvP. I don't mess around with PvP in general. That's why I don't actually join many Covenants. Hell, I don't even join PvE as much as I would like to. Fucking hell. I don't remember what's in that chest. I'm gonna keep trying. The thing is, I don't know if this guy spawns here in the original, because there are a lot of new enemies in Scholar of the First. Not new enemies, but there's new placements for enemies in Scholar of the First Sin. I think a lot of the Pursuers are one of them. But if you wanted to fight, have an advantage against the next boss, you actually had to beat the gargoyles. But they did move, they've moved a lot of items. Some of them are really weird, like, there's a weapon called the Grand Lance I could go get that, it's a really good weapon. But, ah, fuck. I zoned out there. That was completely on me. I could have won that. But, because I was thinking what I was going to say about the Grand Lance. The Grand Lance is a really good weapon. It's a bit of a stat investment, especially because of where it is, but because of how stats work in DS... Not how stats work, but because of how many souls are readily available in DS2, it's not that big of a deal. If you're not a PvP player, you can... And you... are willing just to go whatever level you want for this game, you can get to crazy levels without ever entering New Game Plus. There we go. I know it's a Twinkling Titanite. That actually is... If this was Dark Souls 3 or 1, that would be pretty bad. But in this game, that's actually really good. Is that the one I have? Is this... It's better lightning scaling. I'm actually gonna switch it out. Yeah, it's currently weaker than my other one, but my other one is infused. I mean, is reinforced. You may notice that the chimes have 2 stats, dark and lightning. There is a set of miracles in this game called hexes. Hexes are only available if you, well, it's not that they're only available. Hexes are a bit weird. Hexes typically are requiring both They require both int and faith to use. They are usually pretty powerful, but they are a massive investment. To be honest, they're usually what I would recommend using the Simpleton or Skeptic Spice on, just to make up for the fact that you don't have them. A really good hex for staves is called Dark Orb. You get like 21 casts with just its basic attunement. It casts really quickly, and I hear the gargoyles. Yeah, that's a hint. One of the hints that the gargoyles exists. Do I have another branch or no? Okay, I won't be able to help them yet. There is another character here who is important, but I can't help him yet. The main thing I wanted is I needed that key, and I needed, I needed them to blow up. But yeah, I needed the key so I could come over here. Be careful, these guys explode, and the explosion can deal a lot of damage. I believe he's up here, and I need no, it's one more level up. There's a statue on the level above, but we need a fragrant branch to help him, and he's another NPC who is pretty useful. He's actually a boss soul vendor. There's the gargoyles again. As I said, I'm not fucking with that bell tower yet. Bell. There's no real reason to go for the bell towers in this game. Unlike DS1, where they were mandatory. They're kind of just here as a reference. There's some good... Actually, I don't even think there's any really good items past it. Okay, Okay, so my current plan is I'm going to use this bonfire. I'm going to... There they are. I'm going to head back to the exile holding cells. I'm going to go back through the area from that side. The reason why is there is some items I want to pick up, including another Estus shard. Probably because you ever had lightning spear. Okay, there is another pursuer down here, but I'm not gonna pick this fight. The reason why is dogs. Get him to spawn. Okay, that should be long enough. He should be gone now. Nope! There he is. He never spawned in the first place. So yeah, if you don't want to fight the pursuer, just get him to spawn. Get someplace he can't reach you. Keep an ear out. Eventually, he just leaves. The more annoying enemy that can spawn and chase after you is Forlorn. Just because Forlorn has some serious armor and can dish out some serious damage. There's an Estus Flask shard. I believe there's another here. I'd like to have some more stuff before we fight the first of the giant soul or large souls we were told about. Okay, I needed the key from the other side. Knock this rock in, but be careful because if they land after that jump, that's usually when they're going to explode. There's the Wanderer set, so if you did not start as a swordsman, you want the armor, there it is. I think, is there anything else over here that's useful? I think if I remember correctly, the main thing of note was the Estus shard. I'm using the superior SAS ailment in this game. 2 metal chests. Oh, be careful if you're fighting around a wooden chest, because if you break it, you will destroy the item that's inside. Though, usually a lot of the stuff in wooden chests aren't really anything of note. The metal chests usually have, like, the weapons and armor and everything. This uses the same animation as Dark Souls 1. Go to Sinner's Rise. I got everything I need now. Well, okay, so first things first, we're going to go back to Majula. We're going to level up. I'm going to upgrade my Estus Flask. And then we're going to come back. We're going to clear... Yeah, I can do it. We're going to defeat the first of the large souls. And then we're going to call it for the night.
Is that a shard? Here, to see. However,
Okay, now that I've got the core stats for like my weapon and a lot of my other stuff, I'm going to start investing in my actual survivability stats, so mostly vitality.
I'll be around.
I think if I remember correctly, the way this game does magic is they all have like an innate stat. Like, for example, we saw with the chimes, they have dark and they have lightning scaling. And what those scales affect are their damage modifiers with that type of element. I could do more research to verify that, but I like learning on the fly. One thing you can do with the staves and the chimes is, if you really want it to be a hex-focused item, give it a dark infusion, and it will deal significantly more damage with hexes, but you'll lose the ability to cast normal miracles and spells. I'm going to summon you for the boss fight, but, there's something, an old friend we have to see first. Come and get me. The main thing I have going for me is the fact that I know that they'll stay here for a little bit, so it's easy for me to inflict poison. Okay, I think that should be enough to kill it. Thing of note, this Felix Sentry will respawn, or Flexile Sentry will respawn, so... yeah, it doesn't stay dead. If you have the Bastilla key, you don't actually even need to kill it. Because the reason you want to kill that one is because of the fact that it will chase you, and you need to have enough time to pull the lever to open the gate. But if you have the key, you can just avoid it, run over here, and pop open the doors. Also, there's a random Hide Knight in here. Fuck! I picked a fight and it was not ready. Yeah, I don't know why that Hide Knight's here, it just is. to be careful because I was afraid of falling off the edge. Yeah. I don't... You know, I will say, citation needed on my claim, though, that I don't believe infusing weapons gives them the scaling for the elements. I think it's just a flat damage. But, I, again, can be wrong. There's a lot of stuff in Dark Souls I don't know. And it also doesn't help that this is Dark Souls 2, which has the weird quirks. Okay, I think the poison's gonna wear off soon. So I can keep you here. And I think it's still a pretty good source of souls. It's 2,000 every time you kill it. Or is it 2,750 as long as you're wearing the tier 1 silver covetous ring? Which, yeah, get that ring. Oh, you don't move your... Okay, there. Oh, no, I thought he didn't move if he was poisoned. Oh, shit! Nice! Because, yeah, all hide weapons naturally have lightning damage. And as I've mentioned, lightning is a really good element. Okay, first time using a flame butterfly. So flame butterflies are an item that will instantly light your torch. There is a point eventually where you can buy them, and you are going to need them to complete one of the side quests that we will be doing, because it leads to a boss. If you have the Bastilla keys, if you made sure you get the Bastilla key so you can open this, just so it makes this fight a lot easier. Because otherwise this enemy will hide in the shadows and is just a pain in the ass to find. Oh shit. I didn't realize that they all would come out from me doing that. Oh, come on! Oh, the only... Okay, so the only annoying thing is I have to kill the Flexile Sentry again. Which is just eating away at my herb supply. There is an... Okay, there is an enemy that is fairly easy to grind, like, herbs from. they're called the Flame Sorceresses. They are in one particular area. The only thing is they're not consistent with the drops. And they drop like the tier... They don't drop Amber Herbs, they drop the tier 2 ones. Oh, I'm gonna need my spells to deal with the sentry. Though if I believe the boss is actually just immune to poison, so it's mostly Lightning Spear I want. I want to double check that though. Resistant to poison, but not immune. Also, the hammer is not going to be a good weapon for this fight, because the boss is resistant to strike. So my rapier is actually going to be the better weapon. The boss we're going against has resistances to fire, bleed, poison, and strike, but weak to magic slash and thrust. Now we wait. I believe it's enough. Just barely, but it's enough that if I can, yep, get one stab in. And yeah, because the gate's already open, they're not gonna... Oh, nope, they're all still gonna come after me. And this game just loves proving me wrong. There it is. Another old friend. The Blossom Kite shield is the Green Crest shield reborn. Here we go. Our first large soul boss. There's a familiar bug there. Yeah, this is not a fun boss to fight in shadows, so that's why I recommend lighting the area up. Poison's applied. The Lost Sinner is not that bad of a boss, mostly because of the fact that it doesn't really have any gimmicks. It's just a sword. Which is crazy because of the fact the Lost Sinner is the reincarnate. Oh, not reincarnation. It's this game's equivalent to the Bed of Chaos. Because, fun fact, if you fight the Lost Sinner on New Game Plus, you'll get a second soul. You will get the soul of the Lost Sinner, but you will also get the soul of the Great Witch Izalith. So, which brings me to one of my main points. This game, as it is the cyclical nature of Dark Souls, a lot of the bosses in this game, if you fight them on New Game Plus, will drop the souls of old bosses. In particular, Gwyn, Seat the Scaleless, Witch of Izalith, and Nito. The only one not included is the Four Kings, but the Four Kings can be seen in parallel in another set of characters we'll talk about later.
You have acquired the soul of an old one. That is more than most undead can say.
Time to start upping my adaptability so I can use my items better. And also to remember to burn the fucking bone dust. There's one more thing we're going to do before we call stream, and that is I'm going to free the other guy I was talking about. Yeah, there are a couple bosses I will be fighting. I will actually use the bonfire aesthetics to fight on New Game Plus. In particular, the next Great Soul. The Lost Sinner, if you want to focus on pyromancies, I believe, because you can get the soul of Izalith. I'd like to say that one has some really good pyromancies tied to it. These ones are not hostile, so you can ignore them.
Still a bit stiff, I'm afraid. I must thank you, young traveler. I am strayed, a wandering sorcerer of sorts. I've been a guest for a very long time, but I don't think that anybody will miss me. Very good. Very good indeed. Cursed one, weak you may be, but I, strength, will teach you my spells.
Yeah, he has two sets of things he could do. One is he's a vendor. He'll sell the Ring of Knowledge, which gives you a increase to intelligence. This is the soft increase. This is one of the items I was talking about you could use to try to bolster your intelligence. That does not work. The Lingering Dragon Crest Ring, which extends the length of spells, is really good for buffs. And the Agape Ring, which absorbs souls in place of wearer. So what this is you essentially earn 0 experience. This is mostly used if you want to practice without increasing your soul level, which I might do just because of the fact it'll allow me to do things off stream in this game. He also he sells a couple sorceries, a couple miracles, and a couple pyromancies, as well as our first hex vendor. If you want to use hexes, check what it requires, because a hex will always say what catalyst is required. For example, I cannot use Dark Orb, Dark Hail, Dark Fog, or Affinity. All of his catalysts, all of his hexes require Staff Catalyst. And then also you could trade the souls you have for boss soul. I mean the boss souls you have for weapons. I am gonna go with the Arced Sword. And then I'm also gonna go with the Great Sword for the Pursuer's Soul. And there's nothing I really want with that. Yes. This is also the NPC who sells the Forlorn armor I was talking about earlier. But we have to start killing Forlorn for that to happen. Which means we need to find Forlorn. Let me see what else I've got I can do. At the very least, I need at least 2,000 souls so I can move on to the next area. Okay, I'm gonna quickly, before I go level up again, I'm going to unlock the next area. To be honest, unlike Dark Souls 1, there's not really a dump stat in this game. Adaptability is something you only have to level up to the point you feel comfortable. If you are used to the iframes of low adaptability, you can, more power to you.
And this, you lovely thing, only runs on miracles. Shall I provide you with one?
I'm a miracle user. But yeah, you have to move path, you have to pay her 2,000 souls. You could kill her and you actually will never have to pay, but I want to do her quest line.
Go ahead.
I want to check something real quick. Yeah, if you talk to her with a certain amount of faith, you'll actually get a set of items. She doesn't really have that crazy of a quest. The main thing is I want to make sure I have enough faith to get the items before I get rid of her. And there's a specific way I want to get rid of her. The reason why is if you get rid of her a specific way, you can actually get a reward in a form of a new miracle. A miracle that's actually somewhat useful in this game. But I think with that, I think that's what we're going to call Dark Souls 2 for today. Thing of note, this isn't so much for the YouTube side, this is more for the Twitch side, but, I guess a little bit for the YouTube side too. We will be doing 2 Dark Souls 2 streams this week, so I'll be doing another one tomorrow. The reason why is we have the new Ender game, Ender Magnolia, coming out next Thursday. Let me double check here. I believe it is. I have not seen anything about a delay. Yeah, January 23rd is still set as the release. So we will be seeing that next week. It's also throwing off my entire schedule next week. But, for right now, though, I am going to call it, and next time we will be continuing on the other path. I was just double-checking some stuff to make sure there was nothing that changed from my plans. But for now, I am going to go get some sleep. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I hope you all are enjoying Dark Souls 2, which I said it during Dark Souls 1, and I'll say it again. And I'm going to avoid using this as the description and all of my stream titles for Dark Souls 2. I hate seeing people call this the worst Dark Souls game. It is a moniker it earned. Like I said, I like to call it the weirdest Dark Souls game. Because it has some weird-ass things going on. But it is far from the worst. Well, it's not even that it's far from the worst. I still say the worst Dark Souls game, and this might get me in trouble. Some people might still be Dark Souls 1, just because it has some of the quirks from Demon Souls carrying over. And they're fine in Demon Souls, but they're not so fine in Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 2, it kind of grew on me in a little bit once I got used to its quirks. But we'll talk about that later. For now, though, I'm going to go get some sleep.